Chicago, Detroit, Toronto by train. Despite being 230 miles apart, the last time Toronto and Detroit had direct rail service was in 1967. The creation of a Chicago-Detroit-Toronto service will provide additional frequency between Chicago and Detroit and offer connections to Amtrak's existing long-distance and state-supported routes, as well as proposed corridors throughout the Midwest. Chicago and Detroit are currently linked by the state-supported Wolverine service. In the past decade, Amtrak and the state of Michigan have upgraded speeds on much of the route. Faster 110 miles per hour service launched in 2012 between Porter, Indiana and Kalamazoo, Michigan. Speed improvements between Kalamazoo and Dearborn are imminent. The Wolverine has also received upgraded equipment, with investments in new locomotives and railcars to enhance the customer experience. Chicago, Detroit, and Toronto have a combined metropolitan area population of 17.6 million people. The new route would link over 25 Fortune 500 companies to Toronto, the economic center of Canada. Travel between North America's third and fourth largest cities could improve dramatically by 2027, as Via Rail and Amtrak explore a new intercity route connecting Toronto and Chicago, with stops along the way in Windsor and Detroit. The proposed $44 million project would link Via's existing Toronto-Windsor route and Amtrak's Detroit-Chicago route by closing a 14.5 kilometers, 9 miles, gap between the disconnected intercity services. Via states that this potential Toronto-Windsor-Detroit-Chicago intercity passenger rail service expansion would address population and traffic increases and support economic growth, while connecting Canadian rail travelers with Amtrak's vast national network with connecting services to 35 U.S. states. This missing link in rail service proposes a modified Amtrak Wolverine eastbound service departing the existing Amtrak station in Dearborn, Michigan, which would split from the existing routing onto Conrail and CPKC-owned tracks toward a new proposed Amtrak station at Ford's Michigan Central Innovation Center in Detroit. This second Amtrak station serving Detroit, planned for the long-abandoned but newly restored Michigan Central Station, would serve primarily as an international terminal serving traffic to and from Canada. After departing this majestic rail palace, trains would use the existing CPKC-owned Detroit River Rail Tunnel to cross the border and continue along Essex Terminal Railway to access the Via network using the proposed 14.5 kilometers of connecting tracks. In addition to the new track, the project proposes the construction of a new joint border security facility where passengers can be screened and cleared by CBSA and U.S. CBP agents. Aside from constructing new track and border facilities, connecting the two rail networks would be surprisingly easy to achieve, as current Via and Amtrak schedules are already closely aligned. A trip on the combined route, which would allow cross-border travel on a single Amtrak/Via ticket, would be expected to take roughly 11 hours between Toronto and Chicago. Once funded, the route could be up and running by late 2027 with one daily round trip. Cross-border passengers will be able to utilize both Amtrak and Via Rail services on a single ticket. A projected 66,500 passengers could ride the new cross-border connection each year, with 14,000 starting or finishing their trips in Windsor. From Chicago, passengers can access Amtrak's national network with connecting services to 35 states, the partnership said. For Americans coming here, once you get to Toronto, you can take Via all the way to Vancouver. It's exciting, said Dilkins. The proposed schedule would see a 3-hour layover at Windsor's train station, a short walk from Walkerville, and its host of shops and eateries. Could leave your luggage at the train station, go down into Walkerville and check out some of the history, and have a drink while they're waiting. There's some interesting tourism opportunities that are presented here.